Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to your final activity of the school year. For your final activity, you will be creating a choice board or completing a choice board, and you'll be completing 3 different activities to make a tic-tac-toe. So what you have to do is you have to choose a pink activity, you have to complete the yellow activity, and choose a green activity in order to form a tic-tac-toe. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different options. There's more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 different options that you can choose to complete this activity. As you can see, if you are not in the presentation mode, there are 3 different stars that you will use to show which activities you've completed. So if I were to drag my 3 stars here, that means I mastered 3 IXL topics, completed the end of the year booklet, and created a quizzes game. So those are what the stars are for, is to show me which activities you're choosing to complete. If you go through the presentation, or if you go through the slides in presentation form, there are links to direct you throughout these projects. So the first project that you can choose is Operations and Algebraic Thinking Escape Room. So for that activity, you'll be completing an escape room that will be using you'll be using your knowledge of writing expressions, order of operations, and basic operations. So make sure you take your time and read the directions carefully. These are like escape rooms that we've completed throughout the school year. So for this one, oh no, you are stuck on Mars. The space satellite you have been using to communicate with Earth has suddenly stopped working. Without this contact, you will be unable to schedule your return trip home. Your only hope is to fix the satellite before it stops working for good and communication is lost forever. Solve the set of clues and questions before time runs out. You will be on your way home to Earth in no time. Good luck. So make sure you read the directions carefully and make sure you follow the directions of how to enter your answer so you don't get hung up on entering your answer incorrectly. You'll get 20 points for completing all the questions successfully and getting through the escape room. So each of the pink activities is worth 20 points. If you hit this little home button, it'll take you back to the home screen. So your next pink choice is to master 3 IXL topics. So in order to complete this one, you need to master 3 IXL topics. Email me when you've mastered the topic so I can document it. I will document it up here on the slide. And you need to choose a topic from 3 different topics from 3 different categories. Each category is linked to a topic from the 6th grade topics. So if you want to do evaluating expressions, you would click on that one and it'll have you sign in, and then you can solve and master that topic. And all of them are linked to the topic, but I've also given you the letter and the number if you want to just go to that topic. The next activity is Let's Take a Trip. So you're going to use Kami or print out Let's Take a Trip. If you decide to print it out, make sure you take legible copies that I can read, or pictures that I can read, and upload them to the assignment when you turn it in. It goes over the different parts, and you will see that this is linked in your assignment. So you can work on it, open it in a new window, annotate with Cami. So then let's take a trip. So you're going to complete the different parts of Let's Take a Trip. It's all about decimal operations and percents and calculating tax, tip, and discount. So we have getting there, staying there, dining out, and the total cost of the vacation. Oh, excuse me. And the total cost of the vacation. It's broken down into the different parts, so it's worth a total of 20 points for each part. So it's 4 points for getting there, 4 points for staying there, 6 for dining out, and 6 for the total cost. So it can be it's worth up to 20 points. Then your last pink activity is area of a dream house. So in the area of the dream house activity, once again, you are working. You have your choice of either printing out the PDF or completing the Google Slides version of this activity. If you choose to do the Google Slides version, there's a tutorial that you can click on that will go over the directions of the dream house activity and how to complete it in Google Slides. And it's broken down into the different parts. So you get 12 points for calculating each area of the room correctly, 5 points for having a floor plan that is laid out. Each room is colored and labeled. 2 for having a key included and filled in, and 1 for finding the total area correctly of your house. So those are your pink activities. The yellow activity is the one that you must complete. The yellow activity is worth 50 points, and it's broken down by the different page in the Google slide. Once again, you'll find your own copy of the Google slide activity already in your assignment, so all you have to do is click on it and edit it. So your end of the year review booklet. So for page 1, you need to fill in your name, the school year, and your teacher. For page 2, you're thinking back to the beginning of the school year. How did you feel about math at the beginning of the school year? Was it not your favorite? Did you like it? Something that you were looking forward to learning about? Something that you were not excited to learn about your math teacher and what you thought about them? Then for the next page, you're going to drag the steps of the order of operations into the correct order. Remember, make sure that you have the 4 pointing arrows before you try to move something so that you don't change the size of the text box. Once you've put them in order, you're going to follow the order of operations to simplify the expressions below and write your answers in the colored text boxes. For percents, once again, you're going to drag and drop the steps over into the correct order. Then you're going to find the percents of the numbers. You'll find your tax, and you'll find your discounted price. And you'll write your answers in the colored text boxes. For fraction operations, you're once again going to drag over the steps and then use the steps to help you complete the problems below. For probability, you need to fill in these 3 text boxes of the 3 different ways or 3 different forms that you can write probability in. And you will need to find the probabilities for each of these 4 problems. It says make sure you write your answer as a fraction, decimal, and a percent. Then we move on to the end of the year. So how did you feel like about math at the end of the year? Try to discount distance learning a little bit, but it should be calculated in some. What was your favorite topic that we learned this year? What was your least favorite? What was your favorite activity or lesson or project that we did this year? What was your least favorite? And then give yourself a grade on effort in math this year. So you're going to drag your circles over to select your feelings and your effort. Then next school year, next year I will be taking what for math? How do I feel about that? Over the summer I need to work on. Next year I can do a better job on. I'm looking forward to. And then I hope to bring my grade up next year too. So when you're filling in all these sentence questions, so these 2 pages and your first and your second page, make sure you're answering in a complete sentence using correct grammar, capitalization, and punctuation so that they look nice. This is a nice booklet that I'm going to look through and read over. Remember, you are getting graded on these too, so you get 5 points for these last couple pages, and I will be taking into account if you wrote in complete sentences and used correct grammar, capitalization, and punctuation. So that is your end of the year review booklet. It's worth 50 points. So that's half of your project. Then for the last part, you'll be creating a review game. There's 4 different types of review games that you can choose from. All of the review games need to cover topics that we have covered so far this school year. So I've created this slide at the end of the presentation that goes over the different topics and subtopics that we've covered this year to help you give some ideas of different types of questions that you can create for your review game. So that is linked here, or it's at the end of the slideshow. The first type of review game is the only one that you get to part that you could work with a friend on because it's a little bit more in depth. It takes a little bit more time. So it's called the Sugarland review game. So you may work with a partner and use the template to create the game. There's directions on how to edit the game right here. So it links you to a video to watch that shows you how to edit the game. I have a template in the assignment that you can create. If you choose to work with a friend, make sure just one of you does it and shares it with both me and your friends so that you are all working on the same document. So each partner needs to create 36 questions and answer them correctly. At least 6 real-world problems or word problems need to be included in the game. Your template needs to be completely filled in and the game is playable. 4 different topics that were covered in the school year were chosen for the game, and your questions then follow those topics. So your review game is worth 30 points. And that's the Sugarland review game. If you choose to do the Sugarland review game, remember that means you do the Area of the Dream House activity, the end of the school year activity, and the Sugarland review game. So that's for both you and the partner that you work with. The nice thing about doing this from a distance is you can work with somebody in 6A or in 6B if you choose to do this path. The next review game that you could choose is Jeopardy! So for Jeopardy! Once again, I have created a tutorial that shows you how to edit the template The template is also included in your assignment, so you don't have to worry about making a copy. There's one there already for you. So for the Jeopardy game, you have to create 25 questions and answer them correctly. You need at least 5 real-world or word problems included in the game. You need a creative Final Jeopardy question, and you need to calculate it correctly. And you need to choose 5 topics that we covered this school year. Once again, it's worth a total of 30 points. So if you choose to do Jeopardy, you're going to do Let's Take a Trip, the end of the year review booklet, and create a Jeopardy game. The next review game is a quizzes game. So I've created a tutorial about how to sign in and create a quizzes game and turn it in. You need to create 25 questions. You need to answer them correctly, at least 5 real-world problems. The game has a topic or a theme that we covered this school year. So remember, we have all those topics that you can use on this slide here. So if you were to do a quizzes game, you would master 3 IXL topics, do your end of the year review booklet, and create a quizzes game. And the last type of review game is Kahoot. I created a tutorial about how to create a Kahoot, if Kahoot is the one that you choose. Once again, you need to do 25 questions. They need to be answered correctly, at least 5 real world, and you need to include a topic theme that we covered this school year in your Kahoot game. So if you choose to do Kahoot, you'll do the escape room, the end of the year booklet, and a Kahoot game. So you'll be completing 3 activities for this final project. You can choose which path you want to take. If you have any questions, and we'll be using some of these review games that last week of school to play, and I'll share some of my favorites that were created so that you can play and enjoy them with your friends. Remember, if you have any questions or if you need help with anything, to reach out, and I will be happy to answer questions or use your office hour time to reach out to me.